used to, from what I understand, to support the officers in the community. The concerns about the misuse of the funds was brought to Chief John's attention about 1.5 years ago by one of his officers. Nothing was looked into at that time. The PBA has been run solely by one officer for the past 5 to 6 years. No questions have ever been asked regarding where the funds have been used, or I recently had asked the officer that's in charge of that to show me some bank statements, and he refused to do that. I don't know if Chief Johns has ever asked for anything to be shown to him or not. There also was a fundraiser a few years back where raffle tickets were sold for $20 each to people in the community. They had the chance to win a large amount of money. Nobody knows how many tickets were actually sold, but to this day the raffle was never done. A name was never picked, and over the past, the raffle started in 2012 and still has not been done. He had made a comment in front of 2 other officers that he did not make enough money selling the tickets to pay out what he thought he would pay, and had made a comment to say that they would just say that somebody in Vermont won it. Later, he had stated that he contacted everyone who bought a ticket and gave them their money back. Some people had said that they could donate their money to the PBA. I feel that this is not entirely true either, as I have 3 people that I've spoke to myself right now that never got a phone call, that purchased tickets and never received their money back. And that's 3 different people, and they bought them tickets from 3 different people, one being him himself, one his son, and one by one of the town dump employees who was also helping him sell them. I myself have asked Chief Johns for any information that he could provide regarding the funds in the PBA, and I received a letter back from him stating that there was nothing that he could help me with, that the PBA was separate from the police department. However, the PBA was soliciting funds through the Ticonderoga Police Department's webpage, and also all checks that are donated from area local businesses are mailed into the police department to its P.O. box and in care of one of his police officers. That seems to me that Chief Johns would have some sort of say, and this has been going on for quite a while now, and just recently it has been put to an end. From what I understand is that Chief Johns has asked for the PBA to be shut down. Also, it has been taken off from the police department's webpage, and the PBA account. I had asked him about this previously, and like I said, I have a letter stating that he had no authorization over the PBA, but just recently was able to ask them to shut that down. I have also made contact with the supervisor, Joe, previously, and I've also been in contact with the Attorney General's office, and I feel like this is a serious concern for our community and that it needs to be addressed. I've read a couple of other write-ups that these same exact circumstances have happened in our area before, such as Hudson Falls and Glens Falls PD. And in both cases, when an officer brought the information to the chief's attention, it was acted on in a professional manner, and so far ours has not been. On the bank statement for the PBA, it reads the Ticonderoga Police Officers Association, care of Ticonderoga Police Department. Those are my concerns.
Supervisor, if you mind, if I just really, in this forum, we're not in a position to speak about Yes, absolutely, I did. After, it was probably December of last year, that I took certain steps that I felt I was authorized to take that had hopefully the end result shutting down and making this a defunct organization that is an employee association. The places where I did have the authority is the Ticonderoga Police Department website. When I had complete control of that, where I ordered that be shut down.
And that wasn't until after I contacted the Attorney General's office, though.
Oh, that was after you brought, after concerns
After I got the
were brought
letter
to the town supervisor, the police commissioners, and all members of the town board, that before I took these actions, I consulted in an executive session with the people who I'm answerable to. The other items that I have control over, that is a separate and distinct organization. It's an employee association. It's not a function of the town. It's not a function of the police department. But what I do have control over is the actions of my members. Because that is not being run properly, and I'm sure that the Attorney General's office is going to come back reporting that it didn't have necessary officers to be run as a charitable organization, etc. I said, I don't want my officers that are employed for me being involved in that organization, especially my command level staff members are prohibited from, even if it does become properly run employee association, the chief of police or sergeants are not going to be executive officers of that organization.
But you knew that it was being run incorrectly for how many years, and you didn't say anything?
And again, I'm not debating, I'm just telling you the steps that I felt comfortable taking to really, from this point forward, putting an end to the organization.
And that's great that there's an end to it, but that doesn't make it okay if he's collected $20 from 50 people in our community and hasn't given them their money back. Where'd the money go?
Attorney General will find that out.
I hope so. I hope somebody does.
Well, it will be investigated thoroughly, and he will give us a report, or I'm sorry, he will give the commissioners a report,
Okay.
and they will do as he suggests.
Now, I had also suggested that maybe something be put in the paper, this was quite a while back, just saying that, you know, if these people who did buy a ticket would like to get their money back, to contact the person in charge of the PBA, or the police department, or the town supervisor.
Again,
Is that-
really, that's why we're considering this as a legal matter, is at the point when the town supervisor or the chief of police start directing that employee association what to do, we become running that employee association. That is not a position. I don't want to be the president of an organization that's being run improperly. The supervisor doesn't. It's not the town's organization. It's an employee association, and really we have to figure out whether we have, or whether we want, or whether it would be advisable for us to start making executive decisions for this, not this defunct charitable organization.
But you understand how any community member would relate that to the police department, which makes our police department looked at as a whole. And when you see a bank statement that in these checks coming in from other area local businesses that are being addressed to one of your officers going to your police station,